Okay, so this is my top 0.01, no, sorry, top 0.06% Colossus run in the Koenigsegg CC8S, I want to say it is. I can't remember, to be honest, off the top of my head what it's called. The tune is by a tuner called Bunta with, I think it's 5 or 6 A's on the end of it. I'll add the share code if I remember to find it down below. But yeah, basically the plan was to beat that guy there with the 1514 because before this I had tried to set a top 1% time using a stock car, and I did do that with a 488 Pista. By the way, this is all done with no driver aids except for the cornering visual aid, I guess you would say. The cornering and braking driving line. It would be nice to not use it. I guess this is me making my excuse for using it now. So just bear with me here. It would be nice to not use it, but just with how long the tracks are, learning the layouts would take some time. Maybe it'll get to the point where I play the game enough that I decide to take it off, but currently no. But anyway, let's get into it. So this tune's quite quick. After the update, it feels a bit more understeery, although my wheel in general feels quite a bit different. Coming in here, the car, when I was trying these runs the night before the update, the car definitely didn't feel like it was plowing as much as it is now. I don't know if they changed something about the car itself, but also the steering definitely feels a bit different after the update. It feels like I'm not getting quite as much information out of my wheel or not. If anyone feels the same, let me know. Maybe we can figure out what's going on there, or maybe it's just in my head. But even through here, the car just feels like it wants to plow so much through any of the high-speed corners. Although when I lift off, it seems to want to give a bit better turn-in, but that of course makes the rear end light, so gotta be careful with that because lift-off oversteer is a thing. Coming into this corner, you can definitely see the car gets pretty squirrely under braking. Cornering is definitely not its strong suit. Here we go again. I take this one way too tight, and then I compromise my exit there. Yeah. No, I could have done that a lot better. Here I think, yeah, I drop it into first, which you can see causes the car to over-rotate. And yeah, that's just a bad entry. Coming through here, this is where the car really starts to make up a lot of time, is any of the straightaways. The fact that NS1 car, I'm already in 5th gear, 350, 6th gear. And still had plenty of power to go. I believe this will hit at least 380 if I'm not mistaken. Coming through here, nice S, keep it under control, nothing too dramatic, and as you can see, you just power out. And for an S1 car, it's just absolutely insane what you can do with it. The tuner Bunta did a great job with this car. It's definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite currently, for rivals, TTs, anything like that. Even races with my buddies, I'll use it. It's pretty absurd. Coming up through here, we're going into kind of the mountain section, and then we'll come back down the other side, and then we go into the reservoir after that. Here's where the car starts to suffer a little bit. You can see how much both the rear end wants to come around and the front just doesn't want to turn in for me. I mean, that's kind of going to be the nature of this car, just being a mid-rear. But still, before the update, it definitely felt like there was a bit more turn-in on this car than I'm getting currently. Here I get a good run through here, down into the reservoir section, if I'm not mistaken. Even though it doesn't look very fast, I'm still keeping it at around over 200 kilometers an hour. Come to think of it, going through here, I remember thinking during the lap that it just didn't seem like I was going all that quick. Like obviously I'm well past the guy I was trying to beat. That was, I believe, 96. What was it, 997 or 996, something like that. This quarter here is actually quite difficult without the ABS, making sure you don't lock up because you'll obviously carry so much speed. And the second your tires lock up, you're just going hard right into the barrier. So modulating the brake pedal is quite important. Obviously, with the driving line, it's kind of a bit easier because, you know, you got a pretty good idea of what your braking point is. It definitely does make posting a competitive time a lot easier, but at the same time, I think if you're not using it because it's available to you in this mode, you're kind of cheating yourself out of better lap times. Here you can see I took that corner a bit too tight. Could have taken it with a bit of a wider entry, carried more speed. Through here, I'm pretty happy with... No, never mind. Yeah, that's right, I downshifted. Definitely could have carried a lot more momentum through there. Now I'm just going to start ripping up my own lap. Come through here. Definitely could have carried more speed through here. This is probably, I'd say, my worst sector coming up through here. I don't know, I started getting in my own head right around now that I was definitely posting a decently competitive time because I had only really been aiming for top 1000 at this point, and I had taken someone just inside the top 1000 as the ghost time to fight, and obviously if you look at the minimap, we haven't seen him for a little while. So going off of that, my anxiety, I guess, started to kick in that, you know, I was running this a couple nights before, and I would just keep understeering and hitting the wall at some point, like right there when I dipped the wheel off. I had a bit of a heart attack because I thought for sure I was going to lock up and just have the car either pull left into the wall there, or I was just going to, when I got back on the tarmac, I was going to understeer into the wall through the corner. Coming down through here, you can just see the speed that the Koenigsegg can hold, like, and even there, tap of the brake to get the weight to shift forward so that it will turn in a little bit more. It's, again, the car just seems to not want to. After that, got to drop it all the way down. 69 kilometers an hour, nice there. Into first gear, back all the way up into it already, fourth gear, 217 kilometers an hour down, dropping down into first gear again here. And this is probably the slowest part of the track, at least for this car for me, because it's just so much back and forth, chicanes mainly, the entire time. Coming through here, up into third gear, 220, back down in second. Here I could have carried a lot more speed, but again, this entire time I was just looking at the barriers, which I shouldn't have been worried about. I think that there's a lot of margin in this sector for me. Like right there, I way overslowed in my opinion. But again, also the nature of this car, it just felt like way more understeering than it has for me at any point in time driving it. Coming up to about 50% progress, we're looking at 7.5 minutes, putting us on pretty good pace for what we're looking to beat, which is a 5:14.880. Again, through here, I feel like this is just, I'm so slow through here. Braking too early, overslowing, just not carrying nearly enough speed here as well. Yep. But again, that could just be the car, because looking at the arrows, they're still yellow. The game thinks I should be coasting through there, but at the same time, I've hit the apex here. Well, same thing, way overslowed. I've hit the apex I should already be accelerating again, so that just tells me maybe I could have gone a bit wider on my entry to the corner, and then I would have been able to get on the power side. So yeah, that makes a bit more sense. Coming up, we're going into kind of the jungle area now, I believe, and then we're going to eventually go under the big bridge. I'm not mistaken. That's the section we're coming up to now. Here, this one was one that a couple times I actually way missed my braking point, even with the guidelines on, because without ABS you can definitely get a couple extra meters out of it if you time it, or if you've got the right skills, I guess, or braking pressure nailed. I just got this pedal set, so I'm still getting used to it. That being said, going from Logitech G29s to TLCM and the TSPC has definitely been an insane upgrade, and overall, as buggy as the game is, Playground Games has done a really good job in comparison to Horizon 4. I can't talk on the other ones because I never played it with a wheel, but Horizon 4 I remember playing with a wheel, and it felt super sloppy and vague as far as the force feedback goes, knowing how your car was behaving. A lot of it was just having to go off visual. I was actually using one of the Thrustmaster Ferrari 488 Challenge wheels that I bought off Kijiji like back in university, just to play some, I think it was Horizon 4 actually, with the wheel, but it had no force feedback, and I remember just trying to play the game. It was nigh impossible, because for one, the wheel had no force feedback, but for two, the car just didn't seem like it was behaving much like you'd expect a car to when you turn the wheel. But as far as Horizon 5 goes, I've only had to make very minimal changes now after this patch to the wheel and pedal settings, because they just feel really good to use. I did increase brake and throttle dead zones, the outer dead zones, to 100, because it kind of makes no sense to lose that kind of last 10 or 5% of gap, because I believe it's 90 for throttle and 95 for brake, the outside axis dead zones. It just makes no sense to me that you'd want to lose some of that fine pedal control by having it reach full throttle in the game when you're only at 95 or 90% pressure on the pedal. You're just giving up control of the car, in my opinion. The inside dead zone is fine. Honestly, I kind of tend to ride the gas pedal a little bit. It's a bad habit of mine. I should honestly maybe get rid of it so that it teaches me to stop doing that, because in other sims like ACC or just Assetto Corsa or even F1 2021, which isn't really a sim, but yeah, I will definitely notice in the telemetry I leave my foot on the throttle a little bit, so through slope corners I'll tend to oversteer a little bit still. It's definitely a bad habit of mine. Coming up to 80%, now this is another high-speed section, the beach area coming through the Baja up to the volcano, which will be the finish, obviously. Through here, this is probably, I started to gain a bit more confidence looking at the time, looking at 12:20. 15:14, 8:80 is the goal, of course, and the ghost on the minimap is nowhere to be seen, obviously. Coming through the bend here, overslowed again. Definitely could have carried a lot more speed, used a lot more of the track width there. Could have come out a lot quicker. I don't know, overall this lap, even though I believe it put me somewhere in the top 300, and obviously leaderboards are still pretty broken, with either the broken blueprint times getting accidentally inserted or people just blatantly hacking, and PGG just kind of being a bit lazy. I don't want to say lazy. Honestly, they're probably working pretty hard as far as it goes, but I definitely think that Rivals leaderboards are not a major part of the game for the average player, so definitely not going to be a priority, in my opinion, as far as they're concerned, and combating the absurd times and cheaters. But at the very least, it would be nice for them to get rid of the like 5-second times and stuff. Like stuff that you know, just looking at it, it was either a glitched time or a cheated time. And it's just, it would help with getting them to be a little bit more true to skill, because on some of the leaderboards, top 1000 is really, really good, because there's just been so many hackers that have run a speed hack on it and have set a time that, while it's not something like 25 seconds, it's maybe 25 seconds faster than what is truly actually achievable, just because they're using a speed hack, but they're not doing anything too crazy, I guess. But either way, it still kills the authenticity of the leaderboards. Anyway, coming up to the final sector here, 97%, at 1434, the last few runs here. Nice and easy. Into 5th. And across the line. Looks like that was a 1452.99, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, 1452.947. And I was quite stunned to see that I had put a basically 22-second gap on this guy after I finished. Obviously got to dab on the haters, no doubt. And you always get you don't get like a race level, but 25,000, I think I get 2 level ups usually per Colossus run, so that's pretty nice. Getting some gambling in. What do we win? Hyperdrive disengaged, that's okay, I've got the Windows 10 notification theme. And then we see Mac Badai is our next rival. And after this, I believe this is obviously recorded after the fact, but I think now I go and check the leaderboard to see where it placed me, if I'm not mistaken. There's some brain lag here for a second. What am I doing? What am I doing? There we go. Go to rivals. Brain lag again. Change the filter. And there we have it, 391 in the world. And I personally think that there's a lot of margin to be found, either through driving something maybe not necessarily as fast on the straights, but with a bit more turn in, or just running the car again. And there was a lot of times that I definitely overslowed and definitely lost myself time when I didn't need to. Either way, if you sat for 18 minutes and listened to some random dude ramble over this lap, I think you owe me a subscription. Either way, thanks for watching, and bye.